Now, my great pleasure to introduce to you Professor Ota. As many of you know, he and his group were the ones who published the 2007 Nature Medicine landmark paper that initiated this incredible field of molecular hydrogen research. I met Professor Ota in 2013, and when we went to his lab, he had these wine glasses filled with hydrogen water, and we sat and discussed the hydrogen molecule for many hours. And we've been able to develop a friendship, a relationship, collaborate on a number of papers, and I'm so grateful for his support with this conference. I'll now read his bio. Dr. Shigeo Ota is currently Professor Emeritus at Nippon Medical University in Tokyo, Japan. He is also a visiting professor at Juntendo University. He graduated from the University of Tokyo in 1974 and received his PhD from the University of Tokyo in 1979. He is also serving as the honorary president of the Japanese Society of Mitochondrial Research and Medicine, the Japanese Biomedical Society for Molecular Biology, and International Society of Hydrogen Medicine and Biology. His total publication citations are over 17,400, and his H index is 70. In hydrogen medicine, he discovered the biomedical function of molecular hydrogen and published a historical article in Nature Medicine in 2007, and is known as the pioneer of hydrogen medicine. This, this article has been cited over 2,700 times by Google Scholar and 1,900 times by Scopus. Now, please welcome Professor Ota.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shigeo Oda. First of all, I'd like to thank the committee members of this conference for giving me opportunity to overview hydrogen medicine from its initiation to the future missions as the pioneer of hydrogen medicine. The title of my talk is Overview of Hydrogen Medicine from its initiation to future missions. First, I declare conflict interest. I belong to academic society as well as industry society. As I'm serving Professor Emeritus of Nippon Medical University, visiting Professor of Juntendo University, and I'm serving as the honorary president of the Japanese and International Society. And I'm serving as the vice president of Hydrogen Global Group, which is a company in Ostrava, Czech Republic. And I am president of the Japanese companies. First, let me briefly explain about reactive oxygen species. Here we'll call reactive oxygens loss. Loss is generated due to various factors. It has oxidative effect on our bodies, leading to various problems or diseases. Since loss is generated in our daily lives, I have been researching how to control this oxidation for many years. This oxidative stress, one of the causes of many diseases in our whole body. This illustration, the relationship of loss with various kinds of diseases in brain, heart, kidney, skin, multi-organ, joints, immune system, blood vessel, lung, eyes, in almost all organs. So from now, I will talk on how we start the hydrogen medicine. Molecular hydrogen was believed to have no function in mammalian cells for a long time. We discovered the effect of molecular hydrogen as a novel antioxidant. It was January 2005, 19 years ago. When oxygens react with electrons, reactive oxygen species are produced and converted into more strong reactive oxygen species. Finally, hydrogen radicals are generated, which is most strong oxidants. By the stronger oxidizing activity, the cells are damaged, but superoxide and hydrogen peroxide has physiological function as cellular signals. Totally, ROS has two phases. One is cytotoxic to damage cells, and the other is physiologically important. And we found hydrogen react with ROS and hydroxylogical and peroxynitride, but not superoxide, hydrogen peroxide, and nitric acid, suggesting no adverse effect. This slide shows selective reduction by molecular hydrogen. Different types of ROS can be visualized using fluorescence dye, specific to each ROS. For example, superoxide, nitric oxide, hydrogen peroxide, and hydroxylogical. Hydrogen in the medium did not change the level of superoxide, nitric oxide, and hydrogen peroxide within the culture cell. Each dot indicates each cells. Hydrogen reduced the level of hydroxylogical in the cell, as shown in this panel. This result of great importance because superoxide, nitric oxide, hydrogen peroxide have important physiological beneficial roles as singular molecules, as mentioned previously. This means that while hydrogen does not decrease physiological loss, hydrogen reduces the cytotoxic hydroxylogical. This slide shows the early result of our research. Hydroxylogicals were generated in the culture cells by Fenton reaction. The hydroxylogical is most oxidizing and destroy cells, as mentioned previously. And the right panel, green and red dot indicate the live and dead cell respectively. In the absence of hydrogen in the cultured medium, most cells died within 1 hour by the hydroxylogical. But in the presence of hydrogen in the cultured medium, most cells survived against hydroxylogical. I was really surprised to see the results of the power of hydrogen. I began to study molecular hydrogen in January 2005 and published the first paper in Nature Medicine in May 2007. Hydrogen here means molecular hydrogen or hydrogen gas. Its chemical formula is H2. Since then, many scientists around the world have shown interest in hydrogen and performed research from various aspects. Since then, over 19 years, more than 3,000 articles have been published around the world. The left panel shows the number of the publication for each year, showing an increase in the number of the publication. I would like to mention why hydrogen is so effective. Many substances that reduce oxidative stress cannot easily enter the cell of the body. However, hydrogen has properties of being able to reach every region in the cell. This diagram shows the structure of the cells. Cells are surrounded by fatty membranes. The inner contents are aqueous. Many substances are either soluble in water or soluble in fat. That is hydrophilic or hydrophobic. Substances that dissolve the water cannot pass through the fatty membranes, and substances that dissolve in the fat cannot enter the cells that contain water. Since hydrogen is the smallest in the universe, it results in both water and fat. Therefore, hydrogen should be more effective than kind of other vitamins. Hydrogen can penetrate the membranes and has advanced scavenging loss. There are many ways to ingest hydrogen. Inhalation of hydrogen gas, drinking hydrogen water, production of hydrogen by intestinal bacteria, supplement to generate hydrogen in stomach or intestinal, injection or eye drop hydrogen cell, transfer hydrogen through the skin from hydrogen bath or hydrogen cosmetics. Extensive studies in the world have revealed that hydrogen exerts multiple functions: anti-inflammation, anti-cell death, energy metabolism stimulation, autophagy regulation, in addition to antioxidation. Hydrogen shows efficacy in 200 kinds of disease models, disease animal models, and 200 clinical studies have been published. Various publications have revealed multiple functions of various hydrogen. Notably, no adverse effects were found as far as publications were concerned. Hydrogen has beneficial effects on healthy people and patients with various diseases, various serious diseases. And this illustration indicates that how to use hydrogen for the healthcare and the acute disease and chronic disease. So various kind. Let's summarize the advantage of hydrogen. Hydrogen functions as antioxidant, anti-inflammation, anti-allergy, and anti-cell death, and stimulator for energy metabolism, and more. Hydrogen is effective in most cell types and organs with multiple functions. Hydrogen exhibits no adverse effects as far as reports. Let's compare with the conventional medicine or drugs. They works in a specific organ by specific action in one direction always with adverse effect. This figure shows the result of registration paper and publication by September 2023, last year. Hydrogen has shown to be effective against a wide variety of diseases, including lifestyle and brain, cancer and cardiovascular system, and COVID-19 infectious disease, respiratory system, and autoimmune disease, liver and fatigue, and the others. The method for ingestion of hydrogen is completely different. Inhalation, drink hydrogen water, infusion, hydrogen bath, and hydrogen dialysis. So many methods. And this is a list showing the clinical studies. Hydrogen was shown to be effective on the quality of life of the healthy people and for the metabolic syndrome and neurodegeneration and also that is acute diseases. Also, meta-analysis and systematic review articles have shown published in hydrogen research. Hydrogen research has many effects, so analysis for each field is required. This including the dental field, an effect on blood lipid and the metabolic syndrome, and the post-exercise fatigue and the exercise and the sports medicine, and cancer management. As you can see, this year, 2020, 22, 2023, and these were published really recently. We are moving on the story of aging process. Hydrogen consumption increased average of lifespan of mice, Drosophila, and nematoda. It is important that hydrogen extended average lifespan, but did not extend maximum lifespan, mice and Drosophila, suggesting hydrogen care the health but does not increase lifespan itself. Now, we believe that missions of hydrogen medicine are to address unresolved issues such as post-cardiac arrest, advanced cancer, metabolic syndrome, and infectious disease, and dementia, Alzheimer's disease. First, we will introduce effect on ischemic reperfusion injury caused by excess oxidative stress. It is essentially difficult to reintegrate into society after cardiac arrest. The hydrogen therapy was approved for advanced medicine 2016. Ischemic reperfusion injury includes cerebral infarction, brain infarction, myocardial infarction, post-cardiac arrest, organ transplantation. This is a result published in Nature Medicine in 2007 as our first paper. We artificially made brain infarction in rat, followed by ischemic reperfusion. After 1 day, we examined the brain. The white region indicates the dead neuron area. When the rat inhaled 2% of hydrogen gas, the brain injury was suppressed as shown in these photos. And we performed the randomized clinical study for brain infarctions. That was published 2017. It takes 10 years from animal experiment to clinical study. 25 patients inhaled hydrogen gas, and 25 patients did not inhale hydrogen gas. We could see the improvement hydrogen in MRI clinical assessment by NIH stroke scale, that is a clinical assessment, and hydrogen improves the rehabilitation effect. And during cardiac arrest, blood flow is cut off, causing damage to the brain. As a result, it becomes difficult for people to return to normal life after cardiac arrest. And some people become bedridden. Therefore, we focused on brain function after the cardiac arrest in the model rat. In our experiment, we were able to measure the memory and the motor ability of a rat. Surprisingly, rat that inhaled hydrogen gas did not experience a significant decrease in brain function. The control group has no memory ability and and the motor activity is really zero. However, hydrogen group maintain a significant improvement. Typically, experiments are conducted using small animals such as mice and rats, followed by experiments using medium-sized animals such as pigs and dogs, before proceeding to clinical trials. Due to this excellent result obtained, the clinical trial was approved by Japanese government as advanced therapy. This clinical study was multi-center, randomized, placebo-controlled, double-blind trial. This is the most reliable method. I summarize the result in a graph. Mortality rate were reduced by less than half, from 39% of the dead patient to 15%. And the number of the patients without sequelae more than doubled, that the patient was left with no after effect. To be honest, we are surprised by this result. Hydrogen has a serious impact on life and death. We are moving on the story on the brain. Most components cannot reach the neurons by blood-brain barrier. On the other hand, hydrogen can reach the neurons by the physical diffusion. And we are interested in the potential of hydrogen to the Alzheimer's disease, because multiple causes of Alzheimer's disease, including oxidation, neuroinflammation, energy declining, and cell death. On the other hand, hydrogen multiple functions, including antioxidation, anti-neuroinflammation, anti-cell death, and energy metabolism enhancing. That's why we believe it's a potential for Alzheimer's disease. As a first experiment, we give stress to mice. Stress such as being forced into small space can cause oxidative stress to the brain, leading to a decline in cognitive function such as memory decline. Therefore, mice were restrained in a small space for 10 hours a day, 6 days per week, and continues 6 weeks. Mice have free access to water. Afterwards, when the memory of the mice was examined, no decline in memory was observed in the mice. That was given hydrogen water. That is a control and hydrogen water group. So, and in this case, mice was stressed by the small area and provide hydrogen water. And to know the effect of hydrogen on dementia, we construct the dementia model mice, feed them hydrogen water, and examine their cognitive index using Y-maze analysis. Hydrogen water was provided for 6 months from 14 months old, the younger stage, and 18 months of age. And thereafter, the decline in memory was suppressed by hydrogen water. That is a control without hydrogen water, but with hydrogen group. Furthermore, hydrogen was suppressed neurodegeneration in the hippocampus. Okay? and with hydrogen, water, and without hydrogen, decrease the number of the neuron. But in the mice with hydrogen water, maintain the number of the neurons in the hippocampus. And next, we conduct a randomized placebo-controlled clinical trial in subjects with mild cognitive impairment. That is the pre-dementia stage. The subject drank 300 milliliters of hydrogen water for 1 year. We tested ADAS-Cog. That is the most reliable method of accessing cognitive status. When we focusing on a sub-analysis of subject with ApoE4 carrier, a strong risk factor for dementia. Hydrogen significantly improves the symptoms in subjects with mild cognitive impairment. When comparing the result to approved drug, hydrogen was more effective. In this case, placebo group does not show the improvement in the score in ADAS-Cog, but the subject with hydrogen water improves very well. And the average of the improvement is 3 points in ADAS-Cog total score. Dementia and donepezil, that is the approved drug, provide only 3-point relief. In conventional concept, examination of ApoE4 genotype is not recommended because nothing can be done to slow down the dementia process. In future, if we would be able to do something, let's examine the genotype. And we will recommend drinking hydrogen supplements. This result shows the effect of long-term inhalation of hydrogen gas for a patient with severe Alzheimer's disease. This case report, the case reports improvement in fecal incontinence, and as well as we can measure the active neuron bundles. After 2 years of inhalation of hydrogen gas, the active neuron bundle increase. Yes. Recently, 8 patients with severe Alzheimer's disease inhaled 3% hydrogen gas twice a day for 1 hour for 6 months. Cognitive performance improved significantly after 6 months, and improvement persists over 6 months, even without inhalation of hydrogen gas. Okay. Hydrogen improves Alzheimer's disease by inhalation 6 months, and without hydrogen, the effect was continued for half a year. And this means the effect of hydrogen is not temporary effect, but modifying the disease effect. And furthermore, the active neuron bundles was observed using tensor diffusing imaging using advanced MRI. And we can see the increased number of the active neuron bundles and increase the number of the neurons, active neuron bundles, and maintain for 6 months in the follow-up without hydrogen. Not only from our study, a Chinese group and a Korean group published an article showing the improvement on the prevention of Alzheimer's disease. Now, we are moving on the story of metabolic syndrome. First, we would like to show how to stimulate the energy metabolism. DBDB mouse is a mutant mouse that cannot regulate appetite and eat too much. In fact, drink hydrogen water suppresses the OSD as shown in the figure, even without, DB mice are unable to regulate their appetite and overeat. Importantly, control and hydrogen mice ate the same amount of the diet and drank the same volume of water. And control and mice behaved with the same motor activity, suggesting hydrogen activates energy metabolism. And we can see it's body fat, blood glucose, blood insulin, and blood triglyceride. Hydrogen decrease the body fat, glucose, and insulin and triglyceride. Furthermore, mice that is a normal, a wild type mice that ate high fat diet tend to die earlier, but mice drinking hydrogen water have been shown to live longer than that, and than mice without hydrogen water. In the case of the wild type of mice. This is a randomized double-blind placebo-controlled clinical study. Body mass index, total fat area, waist and hip size were decreased by drinking hydrogen water. I briefly mentioned the effect of hydrogen on exercise. The effect of hydrogen are to reduce fatigue, to increase endurance, to prevent injury, and to improve record for athletes. This efficacy of hydrogen cancer treatments now being revealed. A systematic review article have been published in the last year that shows hydrogen decreases brain tumor, and hydrogen improves immune functions, and hydrogen provides a synergistic effect, and hydrogen a very great side effect of the radiotherapy. Here I want to show the movie. And the mice received the anti-cancer drug, cisplatin, and they are not so active. And in the case, these mice received anti-cancer drug, cisplatin, and they drank hydrogen water. They are very active. Let's compare to that one. We can see the clear difference. Here. And that's it. No hydrogen water. And hydrogen water. We can see the clear difference. Okay. We want to talk on molecular mechanism of hydrogen. The effect of hydrogen continue for half day or 1 day, even after hydrogen would disappear from the body. Hydrogen increase or decrease various factors, such kind of hormones, and the factors affect whole body for a long time. For example, hormone ghrelin protects the brain. That is produced in the stomach. The other hormone, FGF21, enhanced energy metabolism. This is produced in the liver and muscle. Hydrogen degrades various inflammatory factors, then inflammation decreases from the immune cells. In our body is regulate various hormones that are secreted from various organs. That's why hydrogen effect continue for a long time. But most serious questions remains for a long time. The fundamental question is hydrogen should not react without catalyst. In fact, in aqueous solutions, hydrogen reacts with hydroxyl radicals, but it is much slower than reactions in living cells. In last years, a Chinese group published a paper showing that hydrogen target is oxide porphyrins, or the heme, and that the hydrogen oxide porphyrins act as a catalyst. That is oxide porphyrin or oxide heme. And this react with hydrogen and may generate the hydrolysis. And this act as a catalyst to rapidly convert to hydroxyl to water. And also, porphyrins or hemes are abundant with many types under oxidative stress. Hemoglobin contains heme in blood, and in muscle, myoglobin contains heme, and mitochondria and various kinds of cells contains heme. And that is free charge of heme, that is damaged porphyrin, react with hydrogen and converted to hydrolyzed porphyrin with 3 ion, and then finally convert to the normal heme. So hydrogen repair the various oxidized porphyrins or hemes to exert multiple functions. Let's summarize the function of hemes or oxidized porphyrins that react with hydrogen. Discovery of a catalyst for hydrogen reactions. Hydrogen repairs and activates oxidized porphyrin, makes bad things better. No side effect. Porphyrin exists in many different types in living organs that shows the functionality of hydrogen. Even when hydrogen expired from the lungs, the effect of hydrogen maintains throughout the body and remain effective. And finally, we will only briefly introduce the molecular mechanism by which hydrogen exerts its multi-phased function. The pathway to suppress the repression of inflammatory cytokine and the pathway to activate energy metabolism. We are interested in how to repress the repression of inflammatory cytokines and how to activate energy metabolism. The diagram is too technical and difficult to understand, and hydrogen reduces hydroxyl radical, which in turn inhibit the free radical chain reaction and produce repeat peroxide. And convert hydroxyl nonenal, and this serves as a signal mediator. Okay, hydroxyl radical suppress fatty acid free radical chain reaction and inhibit the accumulation is repeat peroxide, and decrease the number of the hydroxynonenal that is serve as a single mediator. So that is finally, if the hydrogen suppresses the formation of hydroxynonenal, activates the PGC1 alpha and stimulates the FGF21 and the fatty acid metabolism. On the other hand, without hydrogen, and inactivate PGC1 alpha, and the fatty acid metabolism declined. And as you may know, PGC1 alpha is a key regulator in energy metabolism. And this mechanism by which hydrogen suppresses inflammation is also revealed. Here again, fatty acid oxidation is important. When fatty acids are oxidized and broken down, substances that transmit information within cells and are created. Therefore, the presence of hydrogen inhibit the signal transducer. Fatty acids are easily oxidized and make signal mediators and hydrogen modify the mediators. And in this slide, PAPC is most abundant phospholipid. Okay, and without hydrogen, this oxidized PAPC function as a mediator for the calcium transform. And it activated transcriptional factor and fat and increase the number of the inflammatory cytokine. On the other hand, hydrogen modified OX-PAPC to antagonize calcium signaling, resulting in decreasing production of these cytokines. That is a mechanism how to replace the inflammation cytokine expression. To exert multiple functions with safety, the excellent organization is necessary from the top of the bottom. This diagram shows the pathways by which hydrogen exerts multiple functions, including peroptosis, a kind of cell death, stimulation energy metabolism, and suppression inflammation. And through the reaction with oxidase of porphyrin. At the same time, there are so many porphyrin-containing enzymes in mitochondrial hemoglobin, myoglobin P450, NOS, catalase, peroxidase, oxygen sensors, and the factors involved in circadian clocks. So hydrogen repairs this kind of oxidized hem, reveals the activation of this kind of factors. And also, some transcriptional factors contain porphyrin. And maybe hydrogen repels the oxidized porphyrin and activate these kind of transcription factors. That's why hydrogen can regulate various kinds of transcription factors. Now, again, I want to summarize the outstanding average of hydrogen. Conventional medicine or drug works in a specific organ by selection action in one direction with some adverse effect. Hydrogen works in most organs with multiple functions with no adverse effect with marked efficacy. Finally, I would like to introduce hydrogen agriculture. When I start on the study of hydrogen medicine, I did not imagine the effect for higher plants. Plants and animals are both living, and hydrogen is commonly effective. Hydrogen agriculture will give us evolution. Now we are facing on the hydrogen society, including energy, health, or medicine, and food or agriculture. Thank you for your attention. This is my talk. Thank you very much for your attention.